Hello and welcome. Winds in the east, mists coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. Today we're going to take a look at Saving Mr. Banks. Saving Mr. Banks was released in 2013. I didn't realize that it was that long ago. And when I saw it, it was right before my college program, so it makes it so much more of a special movie to me because it was right before I started my full Disney journey. It's also very important because Mary Poppins is one of my all-time favorite movies and a huge inspiration for why I love Disney so much. We have an amazing cast. We have Emma Thompson, who plays P.L. Travers. Tom Hanks is Walt Disney, and Tom Hanks is legitly related to Walt Disney. He's a distant cousin to his, so it just makes it even cooler. Colin Farrell plays Travers' father. Paul Giamatti is Ralph, and I love him so much. His character is so cute and positive and very sweet.
I didn't know who you were at first, and then guess what?
You found out?
Well, I was telling my daughter all about my day. Now I'm driving this nice writer lady, Mrs. Travers, for Mr. Disney, and she made me go to her bedroom and bring her this.
Then we also have B.J. Novak and Jason Schwartzman playing the Sherman Brothers, who are also very important composers in Disney history. This is one of the first biopics that they did about Disney Studios and any of the movies that Disney did, as well as Walt Disney himself. And I think it's wonderful that they focused on Mary Poppins, especially because it has a challenging history with him trying to get the rights. And it focuses on P.L. Travers and her finally selling the rights to her book series when she didn't want to for years and years because she just needed to have money to survive. It shows the journey of her accepting her fate and giving in to Walt Disney, trusting him with the product and still hating the product. But honestly, it's one of the best movies ever and musicals ever. It wasn't exactly Traveler's vision, and that's why she hated it, but it was really interesting to know what happened in her life. And we got to learn more of the backstory about how her father wasn't always the best.
I want you gone.
Yinti. Sweet thing. What are you doing here?
You said today was ice cream day.
Ice cream day? Yes, I did. Of course.
And that the books weren't about saving the children, but instead saving Mr. Banks. And I love being able to see the narrative behind the film before I revisited the film again. It's also interesting because Thomas Newman did the music for this, and he's mostly known for Pixar. This was the first Disney film that he did music for. And once I realized that was Thomas Newman, I could tell because his music was very similar to Pixar soundtracks that he's done before. And it was really cool. I love this film so much. I feel like this is very important, and it's really cool to take a look back at history because history is so important to be aware of. And not everyone was perfect and everyone had flaws, and even Walt Disney, I love that they were true and showcased that he did have a smoking habit, even though it wasn't right on screen and they were very subdued about it. But it's very important to show that humans aren't perfect and that it wasn't an easy battle to get the rights. And it's very interesting now because it's been so many years since P.L. Travers has passed, and now we have Mary Poppins Returns that's coming out later on in the year, which I am looking very forward for because Lin-Manuel Miranda has my heart. They really did a good job with this film overall. I wasn't around in the 60s, so I don't know how accurately true it was, but from what we've seen in media, it looks really cool, and I really love the little touches that they incorporated with Disney.
Daniel Orlandi has the ability to evoke the period, but not show the period off. He has an ability to make people look real in their clothes.
In the 60s, everything was going forward.
The colors, the lines, women were freed from their girdles, but they still look like a lady.
That she goes into the room and it's just covered with all these vintage, at this point, obviously not then, Disney's plush animals to welcome her. And even with the premiere, they had all the characters out and meeting and greeting, and it was really sweet, and I would just love to be able to take a glimpse of that time again.
I don't know specifically what age I was when I first saw Mary Poppins, but I was young, and it had a profound effect on me.
The experience changes every time you see it.
And if we could get a glimpse of that time today, but unfortunately it'll never happen because we're too far advanced with technology. But it was a lot more simpler back then and I really appreciate it. So obviously go give it a watch if you haven't already. And you could give it a watch before or after Mary Poppins, but I like watching the history before I go back into the movie again because it gives you a different perspective. And that's what we're doing. So tomorrow, stay tuned, we're gonna take a look at Mary Poppins. As always, I hope you have a magical day and I will see you real soon.